Welcome to the Road to Roseboro. We discuss the NFL Draft.
Yep.
Who do I have sitting to my left?
Nobody. I'm sitting to your right, damn it.
No, you're not.
I know.
What side are you on?
That's a callback.
Yep.
You got Brian.
Yep. And where's Jacob?
He's gone.
Yeah. Who cares? Good. But we have some topics to discuss with the NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
Where would you like to start, Brian?
I'll start with, I guess, the most basic, simple one. Who do we think is the best two players of the draft, offensive, defensive, I guess? Who do we think the best offensive player is? Who do we think the best defensive player is?
I thought long and hard about this, actually, whenever you brought up this question on the defensive side, because I think it's easy to say Chase Young.
Right.
And he probably is the best defensive player for that position. But whenever you brought this question to me, I was thinking, well, Isaiah Simmons could have the most impact, though, because he can do a multitude of things. So I think I might go with Isaiah Simmons for defense.
I'm only going to stick with Chase Young because I will say
it's not wrong.
I will say that even though I think Isaiah Simmons is like a great athlete, and I remember I think I was the Ohio State game where he was just
all over the field.
He was everywhere. Like,
yeah.
But I will say this, especially when it comes to sports, when you're good at everything,
mm-hmm. You're not the master of anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And whereas
like
Chase Young, whereas Chase Young, he is a master pass rusher.
Yeah.
He's just a monster all over the field. So I will go with Chase Young, but I'm not going to be mad at anybody saying that Isaiah Simmons might be better.
Yeah.
Because it is perfectly reasonable.
I think both takes are because Chase Young's probably the best defensive player, no doubt.
Yeah.
But if I were a team drafting that wanted a gadget guy, then I'd go, okay, Isaiah Simmons can do more for me.
Yeah.
But, it's, here and there. It just depends on what your team needs are.
Right.
Which is a lot of what the draft is.
Yeah. And there was also a lot of like defensive backs that you could throw into the mix too. I think. What was that one guy?
Ohio State had that one.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Ohio State. You want to know something funny? The first three picks of the draft, if I'm not mistaken, the Ohio State corner went third, right?
Right.
The first three picks of the draft all played at Ohio State at one time. Joe Burrow played at Ohio State once. Chase Young and the corner from Ohio State.
Yeah. Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. We keep talking about Alabama being a football factory.
Well,
don't overlook Ohio State.
No, Ohio State. They're ridiculous. Actually, did you see the SEC had for the 14th straight year had the most players selected in the NFL draft?
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's just 14.
Yeah. It's been a ridiculous run.
Yeah.
But offensive player, who do you think the best offensive player was?
I know a lot of people like to do like the sexy thing, like the quarterback, like Tua, Burrow. I'm actually gonna go with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Indianapolis got this. Indianapolis got a hell of a pick there.
Yeah, they had a really good draft.
Woo, yes, they did.
They actually had a really good draft, and they even drafted who was the drafted a backup quarterback for
Washington kid.
Yeah, Easton.
Easton. Yeah.
Good pick. Yeah, that was actually a good pick.
I seen one thing where it's like a parody of like Andrew Luck calling Easton's dick. He's like, "Welcome to the Colts. It'll last 3 years."
But yeah, Jonathan Taylor to me, he was the best running back in this draft. Like the kid from LSU was a close second.
Yeah, I think he fits Kansas City's system a little bit more.
Probably
because he is he can do anything.
Yeah, because Jonathan Young is a runner first.
Until he did improve on his catching.
He did. He did, and I will give him that. He definitely did, and I think he'll do good work for the Colts.
I think so too.
I'm optimistic about Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the quarterback from Hawaii got drafted?
Yes.
Oh my God, McDonald! I was so happy for him. I didn't think he was.
I watched that happen, and I literally laughed. Because again, partly out of like, oh, I'm so happy for him, but the other part like,
why would you do that, Titans? He's terrible. He got benched in college. We saw him get benched against Arizona.
He threw 4 or 5 picks.
Wow, what a great pickup, Titans. That one was a little odd, but I'm happy for him. It didn't backfire him coming out of college.
Yes.
He did get picked.
He achieved his dream.
He did. And he's going to get paid more money than any of us will ever see in our life. But
so good for him.
Yeah. If I were to say the best offensive player, I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor. Why not? Because even though he might not be the most talented running back, he has been the one to show me the most in how he improves every year.
Yeah,
and he seems like one of them players that you can rely on.
And that's it.
He never got hurt.
Yeah,
he had 2,000 yards. Imagine how many beatings you take as a Wisconsin running back.
And that could be a legitimate fear that you have going into the NFL, like how big of a beating his body has taken. Because I would not be surprised, and I actually would be okay with it, if the Colts kind of limited his usage
this year,
and maybe even some of next, and not start using.
You don't want to talk Gurley situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then maybe to where like when he hits like 24, 25 years old, maybe his body's fresh again, then start like let him carrying the load and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited for if we have an NFL season. I'm excited for it because I feel like most of the draft, because we were laughing before, we're like, oh, I can't wait to see how much of a disaster it is this year.
Like who's going to be like the big like. Why would you do that pick?
Yeah, and I guess Green Bay became that, but if you really sit down and think about it, it's like, okay, I can kind of justify this. It's kind of stupid.
It is stupid, but the fact that Green Bay drafting Jordan Love is like the most ridiculed thing that happened in the draft.
Then, this was a good draft.
Yeah, it was a good draft.
Yeah. I didn't like their second pick. The A.J. Dillon out of Boston College, running back. I watched some A.J. Dillon. I liked him at Boston College, but I don't think he's an NFL player. But I think you could have got him like in the 5th and 6th round, maybe.
Yeah, maybe you could have used one of those draft picks
to get a wide receiver.
But hey,
it's probably the deepest wide receiver draft ever. Because there was wide receivers left and right this year. Yeah. And if you want a sexy draft, this was it.
Yeah.
Like last year's draft, I actually liked more because I think you did too.
It was more defensive based.
Yeah, and more offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah, less sexy, more.
No, a lot of offensive linemen were taking this draft too.
Overall, good draft.
Yeah, very good draft.
Nothing too ridiculous. Last year, Arizona drafted like wide receivers and offensive players, and it made no sense, and it was hilarious. But this year, they cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who was the steal of the draft?
You know what? This might be a little bit biased. It might be just because he played for my team, and
this is a good. I know you're going. This is a dandy pick.
I'm going to say Lynn Bowden or Lynn Bowden. However,
I'm saying Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden, Lynn Bowden. Yeah, I think he was a steal.
Yeah,
because I think you were saying that he might go 4th, 5th round. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the top 3 rounds. Yeah. And he did. He went in the 3rd round.
He's a hell of a pick.
Yes, and I think he'll be a great gadget player. I think that he will be like a pretty reliable slot receiver, and he might do some great work on trick plays or wide receiver throws because he's got experience with that.
Yeah,
because he kind of had to get experience for that.
Yeah, he kind of had to play quarterback last year for Kentucky.
Yeah.
If I were to go with steal the draft, I thought about this question. It's tough because a lot of these players, you expect to be good. But I think I'll go with your pick, actually, Lynn Bowden, because Lynn Bowden might be the most underrated player I've ever seen in college football. Like
more people needed to talk about
no one valued him as like that much. I think technically he's a first-round talent, but he dropped to the 3rd, and I think he'll do some special things in Las Vegas if they're playing there next year.
Yeah, and as much as we like to kind of like make fun of John Gruden or something like that,
that's a good pick.
It is a great pick.
I think Mayock's actually a decent GM.
Oh, yeah, Mayock is a good GM. But John Gruden does know a good offense. He does run a good offense, and I think he will utilize...
Well, it improved in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was much better the second year under Gruden.
Yeah, because we were scratching our heads last year at Oakland.
Because I thought they were going to make the playoffs. We were like, oh, my God.
They almost did.
The Raiders were actually going to make the playoffs. They didn't, but they were close.
They were close.
And... with all the controversy before the season, we were like, "There's no way in hell."
No, you were saying 1-15.
I said 1-15. Yeah, I said they would beat they'd beat like maybe Cincinnati or if they played the Dolphins, they'd beat them. I don't know. I said they'd beat somebody terrible, but well, hold on for that question. This was a question that you asked, and I really liked it, and this was a really tough one. What team was the most improved from the draft?
And there's a lot, actually. The reason why it's so tough to ask is because so many teams did a good job this year.
Mhm.
I think the only two teams that we can say actually did a poor job was probably the Packers and the Patriots, maybe. And even them, you can still justify some of those picks.
Yeah. Like, New England's draft, I like their picks for the most part. I just didn't see the point of drafting 2 tight ends, and I don't know. Their draft was weird. It's one of them wait and see things with New England's draft. Because I like the picks that they got, especially the more I read up on the players, but
yeah.
It's one of the things we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, like the Cardinals had a good had a good draft year. The Dolphins did. The Giants had a good draft year. Like everyone drafted what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I kind of like that because a lot of people are being like, "Oh, just draft the best players and the hell with everything else." No, yeah, don't
draft what helps your franchise.
Yeah,
and mainly focus inside going out. Offensive line. If you can get a great offensive lineman and you don't have a good O line, build on that.
Yeah.
That's why Dallas, they didn't really have to worry about that. Like, they went out and just got skill players because they could.
Yeah, and defense players.
Yeah. They got a secondary player, didn't they?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, they
drafted him in the second round, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dallas really improved with their draft. But, God, this is a tough
Minnesota had a good draft.
They did.
Arizona.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, and I think I already said Arizona. Like you said that San Francisco always has a good draft year.
They do. San Francisco's geniuses.
Like how did Seattle do? Like, did Seattle have a decent draft? Do you remember some of the picks that Seattle made?
Not really.
Because I was thinking that they damn well better draft.
They didn't draft an O-lineman in the first round.
I didn't see that. I did see that. I think they drafted a defensive player.
Yeah.
I can't remember who.
Which I guess
we should really bring up some of the draft picks.
Yeah,
look, but we're not going to.
No, because we're lazy.
Yeah, we're lazy.
we're not a fancy podcast.
People are expecting professional analysts from us.
Yeah,
but
at this point, you should know better.
Yeah,
but this is a tough question. But I thought about it like 30 seconds ago. Whenever we were talking, I was like, maybe Miami.
I actually might go with Miami.
Miami has a good culture. They look like they're on the up.
Yeah, with Tua, and then and drafting some good pieces around him, and already having some decent pieces around him going in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I might go with Miami too.
What do you think about Justin Herbert to the Chargers?
I like it. That was expected, I think. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people were expecting Herbert to go to the Chargers.
The way I seen it was either he's going to go to the Dolphins or Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean, it was either one of them two. So I was hoping that people thought he sucked and he would drop to New England. But no, that's not what happened.
I would say this, and I would say this about the other one. I wouldn't say this about is Burrow, just because he is probably the best quarterback in Cincinnati right now.
Yeah.
But I would say
that's not much competition.
I would say this about both Tua and Herbert is sit them for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let Tyrod Taylor start.
Maybe not Tua. I don't know. Maybe.
I would say Tua also, and let Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tyrod Taylor start this year and let them learn under them, and then push for the future in the years to come. You
know what really makes me happy about Miami doing this? That one kid. I forgot his name. That's how much his career's been forgotten. Got drafted by Arizona.
Oh, God, yeah. Josh Rosen.
Oh, my God.
2 years in a row this has happened to him.
Boy, he has been a bust, if I've ever seen one. But, yeah, I thought that was just funny.
I tell you what.
Especially after his nonsensical comments about working class people.
Yeah, I tell you what. If he's redeemed himself, I'll hope for the best for him, but... Yeah,
I'm not rooting for him, but if he does something good, then good for him, I guess.
Yeah.
After his comments, I wasn't happy. But I thought that was a little ridiculous. My parents didn't have to work at McDonald's. Yeah, okay, does that make you better than anybody? No. But anyways, yeah, I'm with you. I think the Dolphins might have been the most improved.
Probably.
Yeah.
They got the most potential.
Yeah.
I guess we shouldn't say most improved because nothing's happened yet, but the most potential to improve.
Yes,
I guess because we are speculating.
Oh yeah, and, most of this is probably going to be wrong.
Yeah,
I mean that's how these things go. Like as an NFL fan, you just watch the draft just hoping for the best, but really, it never really pans out the way you think it's going to.
Injuries, or it doesn't translate well to the NFL, or just something will happen. Like they don't fit. They don't fit the culture of the system they're drafted into. Or, very rarely do you get like a Brady Belichick or Manning to Indy. Those are
far and few between.
Yeah,
I agree. Let's talk about some stupid shit. Tom Brady already has a Florida story.
Yep.
You know about this?
Yes, I do.
He broke into someone's house.
Technically. We can say technically. He didn't necessarily break in, but
he's become a Florida man.
Like
through and through. And he got kicked out of a park. I can't wait to see like local headlines. Local Florida man breaks into park during global pandemic.
It's Tom Brady.
Yeah, I died laughing. I was like, he was in New England 20 years and none of these problems happened. And he goes to Florida for 1 month and raises absolute hell. For context, he accidentally walked into the wrong people's house. He was trying to go to his offensive coordinator's house and thought the neighbor was like the offensive coordinator's house. He just walked in because he's Tom Brady. He didn't knock on the door, and he walked down to the family.
That's something that bothered me. Like, why the hell wouldn't you knock on the door? That's the only thing that bothered me.
Hey, don't blame me. Blame the Florida air. It's Florida. But
like, were you trying to make like some kind of impression on your coach or something?
I'm Tom Brady. Instead, he walked in on some family probably eating supper.
Your house is mine now.
Give it to me. I don't have a yard to practice in. Give me yours. But I died laughing hearing this.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
No, it's hilarious.
It's funny more than anything.
It's one of the funniest stories I've seen.
The only part I was actually just bothered by is why wouldn't you knock? You don't know what you're walking into.
He just walked into some random family's house. He's like, hey. Wait, you're not Brian Leibowitz. Who are you?
Yeah, it's just
some family just eating supper. Here's Tom Brady just walking in. That'd be weird. I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah. So, what?
Why are you here? You broke into a park and now this.
It would be kind of like the equivalent of if John Calipari was recruiting and he just walked into my house.
Yeah, he's like, you want to come to Kentucky?
It's like, what are you doing in my house?
Yeah, it's just I died laughing.
Yeah,
this story.
Yeah, very, very, very funny story. But yeah,
here's some sad stuff.
The
XFL.
Yeah.
When I see you again, I doubt we'll even see it again. What's your thoughts on the XFL discontinuing operations?
I'm not going to be too dire about it. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, it's over, it's never coming back. Mm-hmm. But it's not a good thing.
That was actually one of my questions. Do you think someone will pick it up? Because Vince McMahon probably won't.
I think somebody will, because there is a market for it.
There is
It proved that there is a market for it. Maybe not that big of a market, but it can be sustained.
I viewed it as like a D league football. Like it's like baseball, how they have like the minor leagues,
and that's what it needs to try to set out to be. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need it should not try to set out to be
compete
like
with the NFL.
Anything more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to compete with any of that. Just set out to be kind of like a minor league football, and at the end of the day, just expect like players are coming here to go to the NFL.
Yeah,
be another gateway for it.
Yeah,
and a lot of players will come to you.
I knew there was problems whenever quarterback for the Houston Roughnecks,
PJ
Walker, signed with the Panthers, because technically the players were under contract where they couldn't leave after 1 year. The quarterbacks couldn't.
Yeah, and
he left immediately. And I was thinking, okay, this ain't a good sign.
Yeah, but I was so happy for him when
I was
signed, because he was going to be my favorite player in the whole league, in the whole XFL. So I was very happy for him, and I hope he does good work.
Yeah, your team sucked, so
yeah,
Seattle Dragons. Yeah. Maybe we'll just discontinue them and bring everybody else back. But y'all were actually starting to find your footing too. That's the sad part.
Were we?
Well, yeah, y'all made a quarterback change and we're actually starting to, somewhat move the ball.
True.
That was interesting.
Yeah, true.
Y'all played Houston close, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we did. We were like, I think it became a 2-possession game because they scored late, if I remember right. But we were right there with them. But I say we, but Seattle was right there with them. But, But yeah, it is too bad. It does really, really suck. I hope for the I'm going to hope for the best, and hopefully somebody will come out and pick this back up. Maybe, I don't know how much of a stretch this is, but like I said, like as a gateway to the NFL, maybe the NFL can try to profit off that and come in and pick it up and just be like, hey, listen.
That would be good.
We saw what kind of market this is. Mm-hmm. We saw that this does have a fan base. We're going to leave you like this. We'll give you some funding to help you out, to get you back on your feet. Mm-hmm. And you just stay like this. You are a minor league. And just stay as a minor league.
Because I love what the XFL was doing. I mean, they...
Because that is pretty much what they were doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their intention. So that's
well, from what I understood from, not Vince McMahon, but Andrew Luck's dad, that's kind of what they were aiming for, just to be like a feeder league to the NFL.
Yeah.
But not have to rely on the NFL's money.
Yeah.
And I think that plan was going to work until the global pandemic happened. But just very unfortunate.
Yep.
Now, here's some stupid shit. Did you hear about this happened today, apparently? I just read this on my way over here, and I was like, oh my God. A Tulane player, basketball player, is being kicked off the team for murder. Yeah.
Is this true?
Yeah, it's true. He let me see if I can find the story. He apparently he's from Georgia, and he's getting kicked off the team for murder. So what's your thoughts on this craziness?
Only getting kicked off the team?
Well, he's obviously he's in police custody. That's his punishment. Son, you can't play for us no more. You're going to transfer. No. That would be interesting. That would be very correct. But I typed in Georgia because I read Georgia is reopening their state.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, not cool.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, they're reopening their state because they think the coronavirus ain't a big deal.
Oh, that's it. I thought they were just showing better numbers and just being like...
No, they're just reopening because...
Oh, well, crap.
Yeah, but I typed in Georgia, and this was the first story to pop up. Above all the reopening of the state, I was like, this is more important? And I read more of the story. I was like, oh my God, this is insanity. Apparently some shootout happened, and just messy.
Oh,
it's really messy. But I figured I'd get your thoughts on this. I don't know if you really have any, but
I don't think I have any. I'm not...
It's just crazy.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Baylor scandal whenever they covered up a murder. Except their coach was involved in that. So, good on you, Baylor.
Next wait. Was that a separate scandal?
Yeah, it was a separate scandal.
Oh, my God!
Baylor's had a lot of trouble. Baylor's been a mess. That's partially why I say Matt Rule's a good coach. Because Matt Rule walked into a situation at Baylor where they've had the basketball team cover up murders. You had the football team with their nonsense, what they did. And he came in and somehow got them to the Sugar Bowl. So I thought that was very impressive. Alrighty. This one could be stupid shit depending on the kind of person you are. Green Bay drafting Jordan Love. What's your overall consensus of this? We talked about it a little bit, but I don't think we went in depth with it.
I understand why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
I do get it.
I don't like the idea of them trading up for him.
Exactly. And also spending a first-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
When Jordan Love, I think, was anticipated to be
a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they wanted to get him at that 30 spot, I'd been okay with that. But the trading up is what gets me. Because I don't understand that.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of what Chicago did with the Niners to get Mr. Trubisky. Look how well that's turned out.
Let's be fair. Jordan Love probably will
be better than Mr. Trubisky.
Yeah, but because I mean, and I understand. Like I've seen some different analysts talk about it, and there is plenty of outrage to go about. I've seen Stephen A. Smith talk about it. I've seen Nick Wright talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
all these guys, and all of them pretty much are saying, like, I even think Steve Smith said, if I was Aaron Rodgers, I'd demand to be traded.
Yeah.
I think Stephen A. Smith said that.
Yeah.
But I do agree with what Nick Wright said, that this is kind of a slap in the face, because it was either Nick Wright or Colin Cowherd that said this, to where, like, when Aaron Rodgers was drafted with Brett Favre, yeah, they were the same age.
But Brett Favre was wanting to retire all the time.
Yes. And they didn't make the playoffs that year, did they?
No, they're like 4-12 or something.
I'd have to look at what the record was, but I don't think they were making the playoffs. And then Brett Favre ended up having kind of like rebound years.
I think it was the year they hired Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
they went 13-3.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Aaron Rodgers was in the NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was a game away from the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
then you draft a quarterback in the first round right after that.
Here's the thing.
So I thought that was a good point that they made.
Yeah.
Nick Wright or Colin Cowherd, whichever one said that.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been both.
I was thinking this. Offensive, like, not as much wide receiver you needed. You needed defensive players, because your defense got exposed against San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. Like, they had like 130 some yards without contact.
Yeah, but they had like because Packers defense was weird last year, because
they were frauds. Whenever they played a great team, they got exposed badly.
Yeah, and you just had and did they draft any defensive players?
I think later on in the draft, but not early on, which is, I think, should have been a focus. Then it was such a deep wide receiver draft. I would have focused on wide receivers in the 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
But you Green Bay. It's funny.
Because Nick Wright actually laid out like all the things that Green Bay has done, and pretty much given a case that Aaron Rodgers has kind of been a victim of an incompetent organization, pretty much, because because he pointed this out. What other team would Aaron Rodgers have been drafted in that he'd be on the bench for his first 3 years of his career?
Yeah.
Besides Green Bay. What other team?
Which I think that kind of benefited him.
It did. You are right about that. It did.
Because Aaron Rodgers coming out of college wasn't like a god or anything. He was good, don't get me wrong. But no one projected him to be what he was.
Right. Because I think the big quarterback of that draft was Alex Smith, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Even looking back at that, because Alex Smith played at a mid-major. He beat up on San Diego State. And they made a BCS bowl game that year, but they played unranked Pitt, Big East champs. So,
right, because but Nick Wright is also talking about like the lack of free agency, the lack of and the lack of drafting any kind of skill positions in the first round. Because apparently, according to Nick Wright, Green Bay apparently has not drafted a wide receiver or running back in the first round
since 2002.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
That is a little absurd. I'm not gonna lie.
Like he even said this, Aaron Rodgers has had a top 10 defense twice in his career.
Mm-hmm.
In the 19 years Brady played for the Patriots, he had a top 10 defense 16 times.
Yeah.
So, which kind of shows you a quarterback isn't all you need to win a Super Bowl.
No, you need great teammates.
Yeah, and and I kind of agree with everything you were saying. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I've been kind of saying for a few years too, to where I'm not going to say Aaron Rodgers has been piggybacking like everybody said, but Green Bay has done him no favors.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's not like with Russell Wilson for a few years, where he was the only thing good on that team on that offense for the longest time. It was nothing like that. Like, Green Bay still had Pro Bowl players on that offense, but
yeah. I mean, heck, look at the, 2011 or 2012?
Yeah.
They were 15-1.
That was 2011, I think.
Yeah. But,
and you had Jordan Nelson, Randall Cobb, and Greg Jennings.
Yeah.
He's had good weapons in the past, but I do agree with the fact that, it's still, like I said, Green Bay has done him no favors.
Yeah.
Over the
years. I think
years.
a lot of that has to do with no owner.
Yeah.
They're owned by the city. And it's just a mess. But, it was a little bit of a weird pick. But,
yeah, it's not one that I'm totally against. Because if you
I didn't see it coming.
If you have a 36-year-old quarterback, it probably is a good idea to draft a quarterback, maybe. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, in the position that you're in, you're going to spend a first-round draft pick on a guy that you could have gotten later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the big question I have.
Again, I wouldn't even have a problem with the first-round pick. It was just they traded up.
Yeah.
I did not understand
when they didn't have to.
I thought that was odd. Especially after New England had already moved out of their position. and none of the other teams needed a quarterback to draft necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get that at all. I'm surprised New England didn't draft a quarterback, but Jarrett Stidham's the future.
Yeah, or Brian Hoyer, whichever one.
No. Not Brian Hoyer. No, I refuse. I refuse to believe that.
This Jimmy Garoppolo to New England.
Oh boy, I would love that, but I doubt it's going to happen, unfortunately. But it would be a dream, I guess. We can dream.
I'll give you false hope.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
I'm crying inside.
No doubt. There's no question. It will happen.
Master of jinxing. Okay, so our next topic, I suppose, is sorry if it sounds a little bit odd. We're using like a new thing, and we're having to edit it.
Yeah. And also we're also doing it in a bad location. Also.
Yeah. This area sucks.
Yeah.
But it works. You know what? You can't expect the best from us.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're morons. We do the best we can. Appreciate us, God.
No, we don't.
We put no effort in. I guess my next question was, how important do you think college football is to the survival of other college sports? Like, do you think that the college football season has to be played?
You know what? This is kind of I'm not sure how to answer this because I get the feeling since I'm on a football podcast. If I say no,
people are going to kill you.
All 6 people that are listening.
Yeah.
But if I say yes, I seem like an elitist dick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, football is the best. I'm sorry, other sports, you don't matter as much. Look at the revenue that football brings in.
And that might be the only reason why I would say yes, is because
the revenue.
Yeah, for revenue. But I could also say that probably would happen with college basketball at least.
I looked up the statistics here for this topic. College basketball only brings in like $2 million or so. I know that's my thought too. Where football brings in $65 million or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
those numbers are true. Wow.
And then you look at women's basketball; it loses $1 million. College baseball gains about 60,000. It's not much at all.
Is this maybe like on average?
I don't think it's counting in like the sponsorships and stuff. But still, for the other sports to exist, like volleyball or tennis or golf,
because all those numbers seem like weirdly low. Mm-hmm. Even the $65 million one seems low.
Well, I don't think it's counting in sponsors.
Right.
I'm just talking about like revenue as in ticket sales.
Gotcha.
I mean, sure, you have TV contracts and stuff like that, but also you have to worry about televising like women's basketball, or you have to worry about televising.
And there's also jersey sales, track, like merchandise, and stuff like that.
But football is the main one that sells for them too, though.
Right, and also I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that, like, for the most part, when it comes to college football, unless the team's got like the next big star going into the NBA, nobody really no one's glued, NCAA basketball.
Yeah,
no one's really glued in until March Madness.
Oh yeah, I care less. I watch I keep up with Gonzaga because I like them. But no one really watches.
Outside of your favorite team,
no one really watches college basketball until March Madness.
Yeah, whereas, like, Alabama versus LSU was an event.
Yeah.
Last year.
But even people watch Alabama versus New Mexico State. That's the crazy part about college football. Like people watch like South Carolina versus the Citadel. Like people watch like these horrible games. They know are going to be massacres. We went to one. We went to Kentucky versus UT Martin.
Right.
Like we watched that live.
Right. So I won't go as far as saying that like college football is like vital to college sports in general, but I will say that there does seem to be there does seem to be like a gap when it comes to like the hooking of fans, I guess is the best way I could put it, to where like fans are just more hooked in, and I think it's because there's only 12 games a year. Yeah, like it's gone like that.
Well, here's what I have to say, and here's where I do worry. I do think it is a big deal, honestly. I think if there's no college football, then I don't know. I think that college sports are pretty much done for for this year because
Yeah.
you got to look. Hockey has to be funded. You got to get all the equipment, and a lot of your money from football goes to the athletic budget for these other things to survive. And schools don't want to do it if it ain't also creating a profit. So football's their biggest profit with all the marketing and here Reese Pieces sponsors SEC, or like Red Bull, your official sponsor of LSU or some nonsense. So, or the Outback Bowl, or the Dollar General Bowl.
Right.
So, a lot of college football's money comes from just these odd, obscure things. Like, you got to look at Kentucky Stadium. It holds 64,000. That's small in college football compared to like LSU, which holds 88,000, or Ohio State that holds like 100,000. So you take away them profits, and basketball's only seating like, I don't know, Kentucky has 24,000 for basketball, and a lot of them games don't sell out. I mean, no one's watching Kentucky play, I don't know, Miami of Ohio, but people go for some reason to go watch them play UT Martin. It's not sold out, but it's about getting 24,000. So I think there's a worry here whenever you look at it. Hopefully it all pans out, and this don't have to be any concern anyways.
Yeah.
Because I want my football. But,
although I thought I heard Joe Klatt talk about it. It sounds like they're thinking about moving it to start the season in February if this quarantine continues on into the fall.
Horrible idea. Horrible. And here's why.
I think I saw that.
No, I seen it too. Okay. You're right. I seen this too. This is a terrible idea, I think, because you're basically moving football season right like a couple months away from the NFL draft. You're going to have players sitting out like crazy. People don't want to play. They want to go to the NFL.
True.
So they don't have time to recover from injury. I mean, imagine if Tua got hurt playing in March and the NFL draft was coming up. He would drop big time.
Yep.
So I think that's the doomsday scenario. You do not do that unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah. I said this. I said, like push it back to maybe towards Halloween, or towards that.
Like mid-October.
Yeah.
No, mid-October would be a good time.
But it really is all up to like this.
It's up to the NCAA.
Well, I guess it's all up to like how this pandemic goes. Like this whole thing
shapes out.
Yeah, and then hopefully we come out for the best. But yeah, it comes out with the best. I mean, to be honest, like saving the college football season is not really the highest priority when it comes to COVID.
But it is.
It's not really,
but it is. We'll be going crazy without football. What do we do? Like last year, I remember me and you watched a virtual football game on NCAA 10.
We did.
Alabama versus Ole Miss, baby. I remember it. Ole Miss won.
Yeah.
Incompetent computer AI. But we watched it all the way through because we were like, we have a problem. We crave it. But save college football 2020. I guess my next question is revisionist history. I know you're a big fan of like what would things be like if the Bears, for instance, had like a good quarterback during the early 2000s, things like that.
Right.
And I was wanting to ask you, what would be like your one revisionist history besides that? Because I know that's the one you always like love. Like if you had to like really think like, what would football be if like these things didn't happen or did happen?
What if Belichick? And here's the thing:
with the Jets.
I saw this on the NFL Network. I'm like, because they did a top 10 what ifs in football, and one of them was, what if Belichick stayed with the Jets?
Yeah,
and I'm like, I love that one actually, because you're not going to get Tom Brady. You
still might get Tom Brady because Tom Brady he fell at the 6th round, so you might still get him honestly.
Maybe, but
you're not going to have Robert Kraft.
Yeah, but if the ownership still gives him like all like the free agency, like because that is actually one thing that Belichick has always been so good at. He's always been so good at getting free agents. Free agents that nobody wants, and he just makes them good again.
Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen in the Jets. You're not going to get 6 Super Bowls. I mean, it's the New York Jets.
Well, My biggest word would be the upper management if they didn't allow him to do what he.
And that would be
the problem.
The biggest question.
If the Jets became a dynasty, good God, the world better end because it's New York.
Yeah.
The New York market with a dynasty, it'd be insufferable. You think New England's bad?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think the only city that would have been worse would be Philadelphia.
They literally burned their city down. Did you see? Oh crap! I don't know why we haven't even talked about this. I'm sorry to interrupt. Jalen Hurts to the Eagles.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
I don't get it.
I do. You have a quarterback that can't stay healthy.
He stayed healthy this year.
He got hurt in the playoffs. First game in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that wasn't something he could help. It was a concussion.
It's a worry.
To quote Shannon Sharp, who said this, you're drafting based on a what if.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the best way to draft players.
You're right, but look, he's been hurt about every time. I mean, this goes back to college. Like, this happened in college, too. So, I think there's a little bit of hesitation from the Eagles. I don't know. I don't hate the pick. I don't. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't. And heck, even if it don't work out, at least it's a good bargaining tool for trading.
That is true.
I mean,
and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what ends up happening.
Yeah.
Maybe
not this year.
But maybe next year when free agency starts next year.
Like if it's that bad,
because at least 2 or 3 teams are going to be like so quarterback desperate this time next year that they're going to they'll trade for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I agree. So that was my thought behind it.
Watch me traded to New England.
Awesome. I honestly I don't think he'd fit New England, but that's just me.
I think
I like Jalen Hurts, but I don't know if he'd fit New England.
They could probably make it work. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. But revisionist history.
What's another great what if? Because I do love doing what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the fun of it. I guess another great what if would be.
Well, if Drew Bledsoe don't get hurt.
That's a good one. What if Malcolm Butler never makes that pick and they just run it in the end zone?
That is interesting.
In Super Bowl 44, was it? No, 49.
49, yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl 49.
Yeah, because Super Bowl 50 was Peyton.
Yeah.
Last two were off.
Yeah, so what if they just hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch and they win the game?
That is an interesting question because what's that do for the dynasty?
Yeah, because I think...
In my opinion, it's still a dynasty at that point because, my God, they went to...
not really. It's got to be replaced by Seattle because they've won 2 in a row now.
Yeah, but I'm talking about New England's been to, what would that have made it, 5 Super Bowls?
No, that would have been their 6th.
That's a dynasty.
But they would have been their 3rd straight loss. Like,
yeah.
Would you count the Buffalo Bills in the early 90s a dynasty?
I would, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I would say they were a dynasty. I mean, they lost. They ran into the dynasty at that time.
True.
Like, that was the problem there. I mean, they ran into Dallas, 2 years in a row?
2 years in a row.
I mean, good luck with that. But I would say the Bills were a dynasty in the 90s.
But yeah, I guess that's
a flawed one, but I would say a dynasty.
Okay, so I guess that one, because what have they continued going to Super Bowls?
Now that's the interesting question.
Because I think
when Jimmy G have took over as a starting quarterback at New England, Brady went somewhere else to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, when Belichick have stayed around,
mm-hmm.
And what would happen to Seattle? Like, would they have had like the total collapse?
Would we even know who Malcolm Butler is?
Yeah.
I mean, these are all awesome questions because that play. I mean,
it saved the Patriots.
Oh yeah, it did. It's one of the greatest plays ever.
Yeah,
and that's such a hard play to make by Malcolm Butler to pick that off.
Yeah,
I mean, heck of a play by him.
Yeah,
he had to get through a tight end chipping and everything, and that play should not have worked, but it did.
Right.
But also, Seattle shouldn't have been stupid. And, they should have just ran the ball. But I ain't complaining. But
I remember I loved watching Tom Brady, like Deion Sanders, going, that they should have run the ball that game. And Tom Brady goes, "Yeah, I'm glad they didn't."
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah." I mean, heck, it was a dumb call.
It was.
And if you look at it, if Seattle runs the ball there, what does that do for their team?
That's what I said. Because when they have collapsed like they did.
Yeah, because everybody started wanting to leave, and people start not believing in Pete Carroll, whether it was Richard Sherman, all these other players.
Richard Sherman probably would have stayed around.
So, God, that's a good one.
Yeah, and whether they have gone on and focused on Russell Wilson as much as they did.
Yeah.
Because I think personally that Russell Wilson is the second best quarterback in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
And but if that play would have worked out, would that still be the case now? Like, would they have worked the center of the offense around Russell Wilson? Which they probably would have, because I think Russell Wilson was that good even then.
Mm-hmm.
And Marshall Lynch was probably going to retire soon anyway.
Yeah. He'd been eating a lot of Skittles, so
but
it's time for him to go.
But very different narratives, and I love doing these. Like if you ever get a chance to watch the top 10 NFL what ifs like they did a few years back.
I think I've seen a couple of them with you on the NFL Network.
The number one was what if the merger never happened?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
My
revisionist history I saw last night, and what brought this question on was what happens if the college football playoff existed in 2007? The craziest year of college football.
Wow.
That would have been a mess. Not only because of the college football playoff, but the New Year's Six Bowls. You would have had probably West Virginia versus Hawaii in the Cotton Bowl. That'd been a massacre. You would have had Illinois. Which Illinois played in the Rose Bowl that year in real life, but they've been playing Arizona State in the Rose Bowl. That game would have been ugly. That would have been one of the worst football games ever. The Sugar Bowl would have been awesome. You would have had Missouri versus Georgia. Both of them were two of the top teams, and you would have had Tim Tebow's Florida in the Orange Bowl against number 7 Virginia Tech, which I think Florida would have blew them out, but who knows. But the college football playoff would have been number 4 seeded USC versus number 1 Ohio State, number 2 LSU versus number 4 Oklahoma. That would have been a damn good playoff.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was thinking, God Almighty, and that started getting me thinking, what would a revisionist history have looked like in 2004 with because in 2004 you had 4 undefeated teams, but here's the problem: only 2 teams played for the national championship. You had number 1 Oklahoma, number 2 USC, number 3 Auburn. SEC champion was number 3. It was weird. And you had number 4 mid-major Utah with Alex Smith. That'd been a heck of a 14 playoff. I would have loved to have seen that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess a lot of what ifs in college football too. What happens if Appalachian State don't beat Michigan? Does Michigan's football program plummet for years, or do they stay steady and continue being a power? Because that game killed their perception of Michigan. What happens if Notre Dame?
And they did put Appalachian State on the map.
Oh yeah. Appalachian State might not even be FBS now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that game. What happens if? What's the name of them? What happens if? Well, I'll just say this: what happens if Notre Dame doesn't hire Charlie Weiss? Instead, hires Urban Meyer, which was what was possibly going to happen in 2004.
What could have been?
Instead, we hired fat ass who couldn't coach a lick, and led us to 3-9 in our first loss to Navy in 46 years. Lovely, but revisionist history is a lot of fun. What happens if Pitt don't beat West Virginia in 2007? West Virginia probably wins the national championship that year.
Yeah.
So a lot of good ones.
Here's one that's painful for you. What if 19-0 happens?
I know. Actually, I've thought about that. What happens if 19-0 don't happen? I think New England's dynasty does not go on as long.
You actually might be right.
I think it doesn't.
Because you peaked.
Yeah, you peaked.
There's
nowhere to go.
What happens if Tom Brady doesn't get injured?
Yeah.
The next year.
Does he improve or does he just stay where he was?
Yeah.
Because, whenever 19-0 didn't happen, I was sad at the time. But the more I think about it, I don't know if we would have beat Atlanta in the Super Bowl the way we did. I don't know if we would have went to the Super Bowl that year. I don't know if we would have been the same Patriots.
Yeah, because even though you went on to lose a few more Super Bowls,
Brady might have retired earlier.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of
because what else is there to do? Because I actually think that was the loss that made Brady into what he is now.
Yeah,
and that along with the injury, just being like, never again, kind of thing. George, just I am
going to get better.
Yeah, I have so much more to do before I'm gone.
Yeah,
because if they got 19-0, Hey, I threw 50 touchdowns. I'm the MVP.
I'm the greatest player ever.
I'm the greatest player ever.
I'm 4-0 in Super Bowls. I have the greatest record in NFL history in a season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is there to do?
Yeah, because even look at things like Bradshaw, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Did they really have anything else to prove after they retired?
You look at Brady now; he's like, I'm still chasing.
Yeah,
and I think if 19-0 happened, I don't know if he'd still be chasing.
You could argue maybe that Montana was chasing because I'm pretty sure he wanted to win a Super Bowl outside of San Francisco.
Yeah,
and he almost did
a
few times.
Yeah,
because I can't remember how it happened because they made it to the AFC Championship game once.
Kansas City.
Yeah, and I think he got injured in the game, if I remember right. And heck, it's not even that, he got injured. Because for a fact, if Montana doesn't get injured in that 1990 AFC Championship game, the 49ers are probably going to three-peat.
Yeah.
They're going to beat the Giants and go on and beat the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably going to happen.
Yeah. So, it is fun to look back on these things.
It is.
I think that's a good point. I don't think New England's dynasty goes on as long if...
Because you got complacency.
Yeah, it's like, what else is there to do?
Right.
We've done everything.
Because I remember I actually watched, if you ever get a chance to, watch Terry Bradshaw's A Football Life. Because it actually is a great episode of A Football Life. And he actually talks about winning the third straight Super Bowl. I think it was after the third straight or the fourth one. And he said he talked to his dad and goes, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Because I just got to go and do it again. Is what he said.
Yep.
And he retired in 1983.
Well, heck, think about this. Whenever you play Madden and you don't win the Super Bowl, you want to win it the next year. But the minute you start winning 3 Super Bowls in a row, you're like, it's boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
It is.
It's a good question because revisionist history in football and sports in general are fascinating.
Yeah, because for a fact that of the 3 Super Bowl losses that Brady's had, that 18-1 was hurt the worst. Yeah, Super Bowl 42 will forever be a stain on his soul.
Well, I maybe the one against the Eagles hurts a lot too. So he threw 515 yards and
even then you could say, hey, I did everything I could.
Yeah,
it's just we
gave him 500 yards to Nick Foles.
Yeah, that one, I only scored 14 points.
Yeah.
We had the best offense in league history.
You're right.
And we scored 14 points against the 10-6 Giants team.
Or maybe losing to Manning again.
Yes.
That one might be the one that stains the most because it's like, I didn't get revenge
there. But at least the stakes weren't aside. Yeah. I would say that
Giants team was worse, though. They were 9-7 and just stumbling into the playoffs.
You never know, though. They did beat 15-1 Packers.
That's what I'm saying. That became a different team in the playoffs.
Which was the case
for Eli Manning's career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they beat also, I think, the 13-3 Niners that year, too, after they beat the Packers.
The 2011 Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who they beat.
Yep. So, they beat some good teams in the playoffs. Who did they play in the wild card that year?
I actually can't remember.
I can't remember either. It'd be funny if it was Tampa Bay again, but I doubt it.
Yeah, it wasn't Tampa Bay.
Yeah, God. Yeah, because they ain't made the playoffs since 2007. Who was it? God. Not Falcons. Not Panthers. I really don't know.
Maybe the Saints? Did the Saints
No, because the Saints played the Niners.
Oh, right.
In that epic game.
Yeah.
Alex Smith had a coming out party.
Right.
I do remember that.
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
I will. Now I'll probably look it up after this. A lot of people that listen to this, 2 of them, they'll probably be like, "You idiots! How could you not know who that is?" But whatever. But anything else you want to add?
I think that's it, man.
Well, that was a good episode. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it might sound like shit, but you know what?
We had some interesting things to say, I think.
Yep. And what else do you expect?
Yeah,
we suck.
Yep, we do.
All right, you done?
Yep.
Warming out.
Later, guys.